The 2025 Ford Explorer is a huge upgrade, and here's why. The Ford Explorer is America's best-selling SUV, so it's extremely important that Ford got this update right, and I think that they did. In fact, we're going to talk about the value proposition on this vehicle compared to the previous generation as well. But before we do that, I want to kind of go over some of the things that Ford is changing overall, and that's going to be this series lineup. Ford has changed a lot of different things, like the old XLT trim level is now going to be considered the active trim level. Now we're going to primarily focus on this, which is the Platinum today, and so I just wanted to kind of point out to you that Ford is doing other things to reduce the order complexity, which I think will actually yield better quality, but also a better price point. And I'm going to cover the price point because it's going to shock you a little bit later in this video. Before we go any further in the video, I need to let you know Town & Country Ford is offering these 2025 Explorers, ordering them at invoice price. If you're interested in ordering your vehicle at invoice price, call the number right there on the screen, or if you want to take a look at some of the vehicles we have in stock, click on that link down below. The first update you're going to find on the front end of this vehicle is the enlarged grille. You can see it's a lot bigger than the previous outgoing 2024 model. But one thing that I love about this grille is that it's got this little texture to it, almost looks like best car steel, and I think it looks absolutely amazing.
This is the way.
And that kind of flows into the new version of the front bumper. As you can see, they've got a new vertical style of a fog light, and that really goes well with the updated headlights as well. You'll also notice that the Platinum model has got this silver lower accent to it, once again to break up all of the color, make it look a little bit more premium, but also make it look a little bit higher up off the ground. It just overall completes the look. Another notable feature of the front end of this vehicle, and something that most people would ever even notice, much less point out to you in a YouTube video, is going to be these slots located right here. This is designed for aerodynamics, and the idea there is as you're driving down the interstate at high speeds, the air comes in, it rushes through here, and it's actually designed to create better aerodynamics and to reduce drag because it shoots the air in front of the wheel. That is one of the biggest places for turbulence on aerodynamics, but Ford has found the fix, and it is going to be this channeling of the air. On the side of the vehicle, you're going to notice most of the body lines remain very similar to the previous generation, but there is one massive upgrade that is optional to you if you so choose, and that is going to be a black painted roof. This one obviously does not have that option, but for a significant amount of money, Ford will paint the roof of the vehicle black to kind of give you that more luxurious vibe. That is an option available on the ST line, the ST, and the Platinum. As far as the exterior is concerned, the back of the vehicle is the second biggest update you're going to find on the new Explorer. And I love this full-blown light bar that runs all the way across the vehicle from side to side. It kind of connects both of the taillights together. Now the lights don't run all the way in. They do run in, but not all the way in, if that makes any sense. I think just the overall design aesthetic of the back end of this vehicle is significantly better than what we had in the previous generation. Just once again, makes it look like it is a newer, fresher version. You're also going to notice that the hitch right here, every single one of the Ford Explorers now comes standard with a Class 3 trailer tow package, and the Class 4 is no longer available. So it's nice to know that no matter what trim level you get that Class 3 hitch automatically. In the cargo hatch of the new Explorer, your button is located a little bit off center. Press this button. By the way, you also have the tailgate release located on the key fob as well. But it's really nice because it is power, but you also have the ability to save how high you want this thing to come up. All you have to do is click and hold that lock button for I think it's like 4 or 5 seconds. And then what happens is every time you open the rear hatch, it will only open this high. So that way you don't cause damage to your vehicle underneath your parking garage. So that's kind of nice. Now, what you have back here is a load flat area. The design and the reason for that is you're supposed to be able to load those seats flat and give you a nice contoured area for more storage. By the way, that second row also folds flat to give you even more storage available to you. But what a lot of people don't realize is you've got hidden storage underneath this area. So what's nice is you can hide stuff underneath it, put it down, and nobody would know you've got it back there. It's really great if you live in a high crime environment. Or if you just need more space, you can actually take this piece, slide it underneath it, and now it's not going to take up any extra space. You can have the taller items sit down in this area, as well as 2 extra little cubby holes for storage right here. Underneath the hood of the Platinum is where most of the changes are going to be found for the mechanical side of the vehicle. So you'll notice there's no hood latch, first off. That's actually previously on the last version. It would be nice if they gave us some hood struts, but nope, they gave us a hood prop, but I guess that's not, ooh, that's hot. I'll burn my hand. But it's important to know that you pull the latch twice and then the hood just comes up automatically. There's no more hood latch. But this engine is a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost, and it makes respectable power. But this is the first time you're gonna find a Platinum where you can get the 2.3 liter EcoBoost. It comes standard. But now for 2025, they're giving you the ability to go up to a 3.0 V6 twin turbo, which is the same engine that's found in the Bronco Raptor, same engine that's found in the Explorer ST, but keep in mind on the Platinum version, it is now optional. As far as the drivetrain is concerned, this Explorer Platinum now comes standard with a rear-wheel drive setup. You also have the ability to upgrade to a 4-wheel drive setup, which this one has. But if you get the 3.0 V6, that 4-wheel drive system comes standard. And you also get a different axle, a 3.3 non-limited slip rear end. To the untrained eye, you may not realize much of a difference on the overall outside aesthetics of the vehicle. And that's because Ford spent most of their resources absolutely tricking out the interior. Let's take a look. Okay, well, I'm trying to get into the interior to show you some of these upgrades, but unfortunately, I've locked my keys in the car. And unfortunately, Ford Motor Company has removed one of the most quintessential options for the 25 Explorer, the Security Code keyless entry system, where you can just type in your numbers and it unlocks the car. That's gone now. So the good news is Ford does give you the Ford Pass Connect app where you can still remotely lock it, unlock it, and do all of the things right there from your Ford Pass app. So that's nice. Thank you at least for that. But it's kind of a bummer that they got rid of a feature that I know so many Ford owners rave about. Now that we finally got the car opened up, we can kind of show you some of these massive upgrades that Ford has made on this new Explorer. This is by far, without question, my favorite thing about the new Ford Explorer. This was the sleeper. This was the thing that when I'm looking at photos and videos of this vehicle before I got a chance to experience it myself, I'm thinking, this update is just kind of mid. But when I got in it, that's when everything changed. So the first things first, you've got these Platinum seats. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and sit in them to kind of show you what I'm experiencing. I'm 6'3", I've got plenty of headroom. I can even move the seat back if I wanted to, but quite frankly, I like to be a little bit closer to the steering wheel. So there's plenty of room going on inside this vehicle. But the dashboard is where a lot of changes, a lot of updates has happened on this particular vehicle. So the first thing you're gonna notice is that you've got softer touch points throughout. You've got really, really soft leather located right here. I love this feature. The design of how this dips down and gives you the perfect placement for a wireless phone charger, it is fantastic. And I will say that I've been driving this vehicle for the past 3 or 4 days trying to prepare for this video. And one thing that I've noticed is the wireless phone charger on this vehicle is significantly better than all of the other wireless phone chargers on just about every other Ford vehicle that I've found. As far as reliability is concerned, it doesn't cook my phone like I've mentioned in a previous video. I think Ford did a really, really good job with the location of this, because even if I'm sitting here driving, I'm looking at the road ahead, and if I need to grab my phone for something, even though it may not be legal in your state, it's really simple. You know where it is. You don't have to go digging for it. You don't even have to take your eyes off the road to be able to have access to that phone. Great placement on Ford's end, because in the previous versions of other vehicles, they would have it like, you know, located down in here and you'd have to go digging for it. And it just, to me, people are gonna grab their phone, whether I like to admit it or not. And so giving people access to it to where they don't have to dig for it is very, very nice. But I want to kind of call out some of the other creature comforts on the inside of this dashboard. You've got the silver bezel that locates right here and goes all the way across. It says Explorer. It even ties into the air vent itself. The whole design of this dashboard is a significant improvement for the previous version. You've got this little speaker system bar that goes all the way across. It reminds me very much so of the Mustang Mach-E's interior, which you can say what you want about that vehicle, but I love the dashboard of that car. But realistically, all of this dashboard would be for all nothing if it wasn't for a decent infotainment system. And before we jump into that, I want to talk about the instrument cluster. Every one of these vehicles is going to have a 12.3 instrument cluster, and you can control a lot of different things about the vehicle itself. And so that is really, really nice that every single one of these vehicles gets it. And you might be asking yourself, what is this thing right here? Those are the sensors that are actually looking at your eyeballs to determine if bluecruise can turn on, which if you didn't know, bluecruise is the hands and feet free driving, where if you're on a certain section of divided road, the vehicle will drive itself. It's pretty wild. But those are the sensors that's making sure that you are paying attention to the road ahead. You've also noticed you've got a really nice updated steering wheel. Because it's a platinum, you've got the really nice double stitching on the inside of that steering wheel. Just an overall, a great look. And now that we've got that out of the way, let's focus in on this massive 13.2-inch infotainment system. Ford has killed off the Sync 3 system for 2025, and now they are going with their Ford Digital Experience. It's a good name, it's kind of long, but it really does a better job of explaining exactly what's going on with this vehicle. This system is designed to be overkill for what you need. And what a lot of people are saying in their advertisements, they're saying, well, you know what, it's kind of cool because you can actually play a game on the vehicle. You can play Asphalt Nitro if you want to. And, you know, we can do a quick race. And, you know, you can actually race the vehicle. We're not going to pick the Subaru, heck no. But it's nice that you've got this ability to, you know, play a video game while you're parked. Unfortunately, you have to be in park to do that for obvious safety reasons. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking, this is just kind of a waste. Like, why would anybody want to do this? This is, like, is this necessary, really? And I would argue, no, it's not necessary, but it is kind of cool. And I'll tell you one of the reasons that I think that it's cool. And the reason is because to be able to run a video game on this system means that the actual hardware behind it, powering it, is a lot more robust. What does that mean? That means you're going to get much quicker, snappier answers to everything. Notice how fast everything is able to click. You know, it's not lagging. You can sit here and do this all day long. By the way, if I'm in, you can even go with Prime Video if you're waiting on somebody, or if you're at a job site and you're just waiting for, you know, somebody to finish up. So I don't know, I'm trying to make up a terrible idea or an example. But what's so cool about this is you have the Google Assistant built in, you have the Google Play Store built in, so you can download all those kinds of apps. You even have Google Maps built in natively. And you even have Google, which I don't know if y'all know this, but Google owns Waze. You have Waze built into natively as well. But my thing, I love the fact that we have got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto built into the vehicle wirelessly for 2025. You may or may not know, but previous versions of the Explorer had Apple CarPlay, but not all of them were wireless. And so it's nice that you have that ability located right here, all wireless. But I want to call your attention to the fact that there is no physical air conditioner buttons. Now, because we've got the much bigger infotainment system, it actually can make a little bit more sense. You can tap right here, swipe up, and you can drag it to whatever you want to. You can see that you can also adjust everything, like the fan speed located right here. I like that they've got full controls on screen all the time. So I don't care as much that they are moving some of those controls to the screen itself. But one thing that I do love is that they kept a certain few dedicated buttons located just above that wireless car charger, phone charger that is. And that is going to be your volume knob, thank you for that. You've got your auto start stop button, if you don't want to disable that, which you can. By the way, who wouldn't? You've got your parking features located right here. By the way, the hazards button, that's apparently federal law. You have to have a physical button for that. But I love the fact that Ford gave us a physical button for the camera system. There's been so many times you're kind of stressed out and you got to park really quick and you just need to cut the camera on. You don't want to be fidgeting through the infotainment system. You want that physical button. That's one of the biggest gripes on one of my previous vehicles, was that they didn't have that button there. And that was on my F-150 Lightning, if you're curious. You also have your traction control and then this button right here. That is going to be your auto hold. So you'll notice I'm in drive right now, and I can go and I can, you know, do a little bit of driving. Let's say I'm in line at Chick-fil-A, because everything's about food for me. When you come to a complete stop, the vehicle will automatically hold for you. That's what that auto hold button is. And if you say, you know what, I don't want to, keep staying there any longer, all you have to do is just tap on the gas very lightly and the vehicle will start creeping forward just like normal. And if you say, you know what, I'm done with that drive-through, I don't want the auto hold on anymore, you can just tap the button, and now guess what? The vehicle functions like a normal vehicle and it will inch forward if you let your foot off the brake. I like the fact that they selected very thoughtfully which buttons were going to remain as hard and physical buttons. Moving past the technology in the vehicle, let's talk about this center console, because this is another thing that I feel makes this vehicle feel significantly nicer than every other vehicle in its market, in its segment. You'll notice that it's got all these big bolsters, but all the soft touch right here. So that way when you got your leg up against it, it's nice and comfortable. It's not intrusive. But you also got your cup holders here. You got your center console shifter right here, which is just a knob or a dial, whatever you want to call it. But the crazy thing is if you open the door, it's going to automatically place it back into park for you. It's a safety feature in addition to a savings of space. So that's kind of nice. We also have kind of a hidden storage feature located right in here. And the beautiful thing is you've got USBs all over the place in case this wireless charger is not enough. You got a USB-C here, you've got another USB-A here, you've got two USBs here, you have two more USB-Cs located right here, as well as a normal household outlet plug, and the last two USB-Cs are going to be found in the third row seat. And speaking of third row, you might be asking yourself, how does one that's 6'3" fit in that back seat? Well, the beautiful thing is there is an electronic release of this second row seat that allows for entrance a little bit easier. You press the button and it automatically allows you to slide that seat forward. Once again, your boy is not small, so let's see what it looks like. Oh, okay. So the beautiful thing is my head is not touching the ceiling. Unless I lean my head back, then maybe it is a little bit. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. If you need more space, I highly recommend you step up to the Expedition, but realistically, the Expedition is a lot more money. I'm going to get out of this. Okay. All right. That wasn't so bad. Now that we're done with that third row, let me show you what's going on with the second row seat. So the first things first, in the all the way back position, I've actually got a decent amount of leg room for the seat in front of me. I will say though, that it is nice that you have the ability to recline the seat a little bit more. And also if you're trying to be cognizant of the people that are behind you, you can actually scoot this seat further forward. This also doubles as an opportunity to reach your young kids in the back seat in case you need to hand them something or if you need to tend to them while you're trying to drive. Once again, be safe, always pay attention to the road, but bluecruise can also help you with that as well. And so it's nice that you have that ability to scoot it forward, and realistically, it's not that bad as far as the space in the back seat are concerned. I will say you've got these updated controls here. It's nice that you've got the air conditioner vents up here in the ceiling, so everybody has air throughout the vehicle, and you've got rear redundant controls back here. So you can choose the temperature for the back seats, you can choose the fan speed, you can even choose where the air is coming out of, in addition to the heated seats in the second row. Without a question, my favorite feature of the new Explorer Platinum is going to be the availability of multi-contour seats. That's a very fancy way of saying this vehicle will massage your butt and your back. All you do is press the center button right there down by the lumbar support, and you can come over here to massage and turn on a different version of massaging seats. My favorite is the full recovery on full blast. You can have the air-conditioned seats go with that, or the heated seats as well. But I love the fact that Ford is bringing back the multi-contour seats for 2025 Platinums. Now that you've seen what I've seen, I have to tell you this MSRP of this vehicle is $55,250. And I realize that is a lot of money. But my question to you, do you think it's worth it?